Hello friends, again welcome to my channel. Today we are going to discuss about one of the important topic from the environmental microbiology, that is the plastic biodegradation. We know that today the major pollutant which is observed within the environment or which is responsible for the environmental pollution, it is the plastic. So today we are discussing about the characteristics of this plastic, how it is responsible to cause such type of the environmental pollution. Now, as the term biodegradation, this biodegradation, it is the process by which the substances that are broken down by the environmental factors and the microorganism or the any living organisms, then it is called as the biodegradation. Now, most of the cases, whenever we are observing this biodegradation process, it is carried out in the two different ways, that is either aerobically or the anaerobically, means either in the presence of oxygen or in the absence of oxygen. Now, these biodegradable substances, these are generally the organic material, that is the complex organic material which can provide the nutrition for the microbial growth or the living organisms which are responsible to degrade them. In most of the cases, we observe that majorly the microorganisms, these are having the ability of this biodegradation. So majorly these microorganisms, they are requiring the carbon nitrogen source which are essential for their proper growth. So these organic material which are to be degraded, these organic material, these are acts as an carbon source for the growth of this microorganism, and through which these microorganisms, these are responsible to break down them. Now we are switch over to the structure of this plastic. Now, majorly these plastics, these are generally the high molecular weight organic polymer. Now, the polymer, it means there is the joining of the different monomer units with each other. Then there is the formation of polymer, and often it contains the other substances. Means no doubt it is an polymer unit, and along with that these are also having the other substances involved within them which are responsible to increase their toxic effects. Now the substances which are used within the plastic preparation, these are recalcitrant in nature or they are persistent within the nature. Persistent, it means these are not easily get degraded. There is no removal of these substances from the environment. Due to that, these are called as the recalcitrant in nature, because majorly there is the absence of the different enzymes which are having or the catalytic particles which are responsible to break down them. The plastic, these are the part of the modern day living, means within our day to day life there is the continuous use of this plastic for the different purposes, that is for the food packaging, for the toys making, for carrying the different food material or anything from the market. We are continuously utilizing this plastic. So means there is the excessive use of this plastic bags within our day to day life, so it become a major environmental pollutant. The next point within our discussion, it is the types of plastic. So there are the various types of the plastic that we are utilized within our day to day life. The important plastics within them, these are including the polythene terephthalate, that is the PET, then the low density polyethylene LDPE, then high density polyethylene HDPE, polyvinyl chloride, then the polypropylene, polystyrene, or it is also called as the styrofoam. Then the miscellaneous plastics includes the polycarbonates, polylactide, styrene, nylon, fiberglass, then the acrylonitrile butadiene, acrylic. These are the various types of the plastics that we are utilized or that we are utilized within our day to day life. Now the next point, it is the classification of plastic. Now on the different properties of the plastics, majorly there is the dividation of this plastic within the different groups. Majorly there is the classification of plastic, it is depending upon their properties and their chemical structure. The first dividation or the first classification of this plastic is depending upon its thermal properties. On the basis of the thermal properties, the plastics can be divided into the two different groups, that is the thermoplastic and the thermosetting polymers. Now these thermoplastics, these are the polymers which cannot change their chemical composition when heated. Means even whenever we are heating these plastics, there is no any type of the change within their chemical composition, and they can therefore undergo the molding multiple times, means multiple times we can change their shape. These polymers are different types such as the polyethylene, polypropylene, polystyrene, polyvinyl chloride, or the polytetrafluoroethylene. All of these are the thermoplastics, which are having the constant chemical composition whenever heated, and we can mold them for the multiple times. These are also known as the common plastics, range from 20,000 to the 500,000 AMU in the molecular weight. Then the second type of the polymers includes the thermosetting polymers. The thermosetting polymers are the different types of the plastics, and majorly they are remain solid and cannot be melt and modified. Means there is no modification of these plastics. Means once we are prepare them, they are having the same type of the structure. The chemical change here, it is irreversible, means the chemical changes which are carried out within them, these are the irreversible, we cannot reverse them, and hence these plastics are not recyclable, means there is no recycling of this, means these are responsible for creating the major problem as there is no recycling of these plastics. The thermoplastics, they can be recycled, but here these thermosetting polymers, this cannot be recyclable. The reason behind the this nature of the thermoplastics or the thermosetting plastics, it is these are having the cross linked structure, whereas the thermoplastics are linear. Means due to the presence of this cross linkage within the thermosetting polymers, there is no molding of these plastics and we cannot recycle them. The example of this include the phenyl formaldehyde, polyurethanes. These are the example of thermosetting polymers. Then the next one, it is the biodegradable properties. Means on the basis of biodegradable properties, majorly again there is the categorization of plastics into the photodegradable bioplastics. Now these photodegradable bioplastics, these are light sensitive groups connected directly to the backbone of polymer. Means the polymer means the monomer units which are joins with the each other for formation of these plastics. Majorly the light sensitive groups, these are directly connected with the backbone of this polymer. Then the ultraviolet radiation exposure for a longer time, means such type of the plastics, whenever we are exposed them to the ultraviolet radiation for the longer time period, then their polymeric structure, it is get open, and again it is ready for the further bacterial degradation. The landfills, however, typically lack the sunlight, thus keeping these plastics non-degradable. Means within the landfills, we know that majorly there is no transfer of the sunlight. So due to that, these plastics, this cannot be get degraded. If there is the availability of plastic, they availability of sunlight, then they can be degraded. Now the next one, it is the bio-based bioplastics. These are defined as the plastics in which 100% of the carbon, it is derived from the renewable agriculture and forestry resources. Means it is, these are easily get degraded, such as the cornstarch, soybean protein, and the cellulose. It is called as bio-based bioplastics, which can easily get, which is biodegradable in nature, or there is the complete biodegradation of such type of the plastic. Then the next one, it is the compostable bioplastics. These compostable bioplastics are decomposed biologically in a composting process that occur at a similar rate to the other compostable material. Means along with the composting process, that is the other type of the complex organic material, as we are compost them in the similar way, such type of the plastic, they can be also get degraded by this composting process without leaving the visible toxic reminders. Means no any toxic components, these are get formed within this process. In order to design it a plastic as a biocompostable, its total biodegradability, its disintegration degree, and the possible ecological toxicity of its degraded material must be determined by the standardized test. Means whenever we are preparing such type of the plastic, this care should be taken that we are taking care of about it, how it is get biodegradable, then it's how there is the disintegration of the polymer structure within them, and uh, after the degradation which type of the components these are get formed. Now these biodegradable bioplastics are fully degraded by the microorganisms without leaving the visible toxic reminder. The term biodegradable refers to the material that can be break down naturally into the biogases and the biomasses. Then the polyhydroxyalcoholic acid, that is the PHA, are the significant type of these biodegradable plastics since they possess the properties similar to the conventional plastics. They are completely biodegradable but may be melted and modeled, making them ideal for the use in the consumer product as they can be biodegradable. Now the next point, it is the chemical structure of the plastic. Now the synthetic plastics, these are classified according to the characteristics of the reaction by which they are get formed. Now within that, whenever all of the atoms in the monomers, which are the monomer unit of the plastics, these are incorporated within a polymer. The polymer, it is called the addition polymer. If some monomer atoms are released into the small molecules such as the water, the polymer, it is called a condensation polymer. Means whenever the monomer unit, complete monomer unit, these are get joined to form the polymer, then it is called as addition polymer. If some of the components within the monomer unit, these are get released, then it is called a condensation polymer. Most addition polymers are made from the monomers containing the double bond between the carbon atoms. Such monomers are called as the olefins. Means those of the monomer units which are containing the double bond in between the carbon atoms, these are called as the olefins. And the most commercial addition polymers, these are the polyolefins. Then the condensation polymers, these are made from the monomers that have the two different groups of atoms that can join together, such as the ester or amide links. Means different types of the linkages, these are present within them. They include the polymers like the polyethylene, polypropylene, polystyrene, polyvinyl chloride, polyurethane, and the polyethylene terephthalate. Means most of the plastics which we are daily used, majorly these are the condensation polymers. Now here it is the structure of different types of the plastic or the monomer units of the different plastics which we are utilize daily: polyethylene, polyvinyl chloride, polypropylene, polystyrene. All of these are the monomer units of these different plastics. Then what are the uses of these plastics? Now majorly the polyethylene terephthalate, it is utilized within the water and soda bottles. And the major property of this polyethylene terephthalate, it is clarity, its strength, its impermeability to the gas and moisture. Then the next one, it is the high density polyethylene. It is utilized during the milk jugs, grocery bags, and the toiletry bottles. Now it is utilized for its resistance to the moisture, permeability to gas, then the strength. The next one, it is the polyvinyl chloride. It is utilized for making the water pipes, blisters, packaging for the non-food items. It is known for its strength and the ease of blending with the other material. Next one, it is the low density polyethylene. It is utilized for the food bags, squeezable bottles, then the cleaning films, then the disposable cups. It is utilized for its flexibility. Then the polypropylene for the microwavable containers, yogurt cups, disposable plates and cups. It is known for its strength, resistant to the heat, chemicals, oils and the moisture. Then next one, it is the polystyrene. It is utilized for the preparation of the disposable plates, cups, cutlery, then the containers and the packaging peanuts. It is utilized for its property of clarity, versatility and the molding edge. Then the other types of the plastics, like including the polycarbonates, these are utilized for the beverage bottles, then the lenses for the glasses, and it is known for its properties depending upon the moisture of the polymers may contain the means for its moisture containing ability. So these are the different uses of the plastics and the properties of the plastic that we are utilized within our day to day life. Now the next point within our discussion, it is the hazardous effects of the plastics. Now we know that this excessive use of the plastics, as most of the plastics they cannot be recyclable, so this plastic waste can pollute our land, air and water. Plastic waste that ends up in the landfills can leach the harmful chemicals into the soil and groundwater. Means there is the release of the toxic chemicals within the soil and the groundwater, and from this they may be transferred to the different plants or the aquatic system, the aquatic animals. The plastic waste that enters our waterways can pollute our oceans, rivers, and the lakes. The massive accumulation of the plastic blocks block the drainage system, which is the major problem. The plastic waste can also break down into the microplastics. Means may be conversion of these plastics into the microplastics, and majorly there are the hazardous chemicals. These are present within these microplastics, which are responsible to cause different hazardous effects on the human health. Many chemicals that are found within the plastics are the endocrine disruptors, which can cause an imbalance within the hormones, reproductive issues, and even responsible to cause the cancer. The microplastics can leach the harmful chemicals such as the bisphenol and the phenolphthaleate. Both of these types of chemicals are also known to interfere with the hormones. So these are the different types of the hazardous effects of the plastic, different types of the plastic, chemical structure of the plastics. So within this lecture we are discussing about this concept. Within the next lecture we are going to discuss about how these plastics they can be biodegradable, or how we can convert the plastic into the degradable form, which are the techniques for utilized for that, or how there is the degradation of these plastics. So if you like this video, please subscribe my channel and also share this video with your friends. Thank you.